You get the same headphones I got? They look like black headphones. What do you got there?
Well, they are black headphones, but they are Sennheisers. I see you finally got your new ones.
I did. They came in the mail. No thanks to Walmart, but yeah, I got them ordered. $9.48. That's some serious money I had to spend there on these headphones.
And how long did you had to wait for them?
48 hours.
Really?
Yeah. No, Amazon delivers pretty quick. And I've talked about this before where
I think that's pretty slow.
48 hours?
48 hours. We've got them within 24 in the Netherlands.
Okay, all right. Well, whatever with your superior race over there with you.
Yeah, bring it.
Okay, all right. I'm still, aren't you kind of amazed that Chinese slave labor digs out the plastic in the plastic mines or wherever the hell they get, and then they do the copper wiring, and then in 48 hours it's delivered to my door. And now maybe you're on the 24-hour plan, but I'm still pretty impressed for with delivery costs $12.95. I get these headphones.
Being used to utter disappointment, yes. It is pretty amazing that within 48 hours someone can actually do their job.
Well, not IKEA, I'll tell you that. I'll take the Chinese over these damn Swedes anytime. At least they fucking deliver. Maybe their stuff doesn't last this long, but I'm still impressed, and it was a lesson I learned where and I should write an article or at least do a little bit of an academic study, put some numbers to this, where as a young man, when you don't make a lot of money, then your time is not obviously worth as much. And maybe it does pay you to go and find a better deal or go to Goodwill or something like that. But once you hit a certain hourly wage, your time is no longer worth going to Walmart. Like that was one thing that pissed me off. It was, I wasted the better part of 2 hours going to Walmart for headphones that didn't work. And I should have just ordered them, bang it out, keep using my crap blue ones with the duct tape. And so
suit you.
It did. And there's a piece of me that kind of maybe wants to dig them out of the garbage so I could put them back on and say, oh, remember when he was poor? There, look at that. But just, for you younger men, because somebody in our listening audience is going to do well. Maybe not us, but somebody. And then all of a sudden they're looking at $200 an hour. And it's like, yeah, it's not worth your time to go to Walmart, order it on the internet, get it over there. Heck, order two so you don't have to, you have redundancy backed into it.
But that already becomes the thing with like household chores, where it's like, oh, dishes. Oh, God, I've got narration to do. I've got podcasts to do. I've got better things to do than dishes. But
how many? Wait. Okay, hold it. Dishes is like wiping your ass. You have to do it. Okay, like how are dishes perturbing you?
No, but have you never had that with like simple household chores where you're like the laundry or something like that? No. You never had that.
Well, because it was always like, it's like getting gas. Like, I don't care what the price of gas is. It doesn't bother me because I got to get gas. It's you put it in. So whether it's $3 a gallon or $2 a gallon, I mean, yeah, it upsets me when it's $4, but I've never banked that into my budget because I don't control it and I have to have gas. And so when it comes to like household, like laundry, I just did laundry yesterday. Dishes, I did them by hand yesterday, but now
because that you and I have only one plate, one fork, one knife, one bowl.
Right.
Done.
So how hard can it possibly be for you? It's got to take you like 2 minutes to do your dishes.
I know, like in our case, it's not that much, but I've seen people where I'm like, who are really busy with things, who are very productive, but the dishes just keep piling up. Where I'm like, yeah, I kind of get what you mean, but if you just took 10 minutes out of your day in the morning to do it, but who are we to help?
We are no one to help. You know why, Jack?
We've got better things to do, and we're going to enjoy the show.
And we're going to enjoy the show. And what else happens to people when you try to give them help?
They get angry and they won't listen.
They don't want to listen. Yep. So you just. I have seen many Well, now you're 31 or just 30?
30.
You're 30. Okay, you're about to hit the era or the age or the epic where you're going to see some of your friends who you're like, them, and you're not wrong. Like this guy, Bob or Dutch, you're Harry, or Harry, your Dutch advisor. Harry's going to come in and like, oh yeah, Harry's a great guy, and this and that. And then they get married, and then you're going to see like kids shitting in the living room. There's going to be dishes piling up. There's going to be crap all over the place. And you're going to look at him and say like, Harry, you are my Dutch advisor. What the fuck's going on here? And and then you find the excuses, and then you really find out who real men and women are. Because I have seen so many families where it's like, now if you and I had kids, not you and me together, obviously, but if we had our own separate children.
Now I know you like
yeah,
me,
no, saying,
no.
Just saying. My kids, and people say, oh, you can't say that. Dude, my kids, like, you're brushing your teeth, you're doing the dishes, and you're not leaving crap around the house. Every other place I've gone to, the kids own the parents is essentially what's happening now. And I walk in and I'm like, okay, so this is all, Harry, you're a bloviating bullshitter because you can't even get a 4-year-old child to do what you want. So that's about what you're about to enter and experience right now.
I'm experiencing that already with certain people, but I tend to avoid them. And I have one, I told you about it, like the one TradCon friend I have. Traditional family, wife stays at home with the child.
Is this the wife that's in Hot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, she stayed in shape.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one. They actually parent the child, where it's like, no, you don't do that. No, you're going to clean that up. And before we're going to do anything nice, this needs to happen. Like real parenting. A lot of parents want to be their kid's friend. Like, I'm not here to be your friend. Like, I'm your guidance towards here. I'm the older guy. I know shit. And you're going to listen and sit down.
You know what they called older guys who knew shit?
Wise old men.
It'd be called your dad, and you shut the fuck up and listen to him.
What is this dad you speak of?
I don't know. The government check replaced it all. Speaking of dads, here we got Juan, the Aztec patriarch. Good morning. He's one of the real dads out there.
That is true. Like how many? 2, 3?
Well, he's Latino, so 47, 50. Juan, how many kids you got running around? What do you got? No, I think he's got 3. Maybe 4. He sent pictures of them, and it's really cool. Speaking of fathering and parenting, he took them out hiking, and they love hiking. So there's pictures of Juan with his kids, and they're having a grand old time over Sequoia National Park or whatever.
Nice. I did see it though with his kids in the garage. So what to say, in the car repair thing.
Right. He's training his son how to fix Mustangs, right? Yeah,
something like that. I saw pictures. That's pretty awesome.
I wonder, do you think Juan's kids are going to grow up better or worse now that Juan is investing in them? I'm wondering how they're going to come out because...
Well, he is Latino. I mean,
right. And he's not a government check.
Oh, he doesn't have that.
He's just a man with a penis. So
you're saying he didn't listen to Democrat propaganda?
Well, I don't know. You know, you could just see in the eyes of the kid, they're so happy to go out hiking, and they're going to remember it. Juan might not remember it, but they're going to remember it, and this is paying dividends. And so, no, it's just good to see a guy spending time with his kids.
You know what I'm happy about? That I can pull a prank on you, and you're not in my shit about it. Like when I said, well, oh, he's Latino, and you didn't immediately go like, oh, why does that matter? No, you get the joke. I appreciate it. Because
we're men here. Now, he gave me shit for kissing too much minority ass beforehand. I'm like, what the hell did I kiss minority ass? So now I'm all like second guessing myself. I'm like, I have never paid Atham a compliment. I've never paid Juan a compliment. I slam on everybody pretty equally here. So now I'm kind of like, oh, geez, maybe I gotta be harder on the minorities. I'm going to be harder on them.
Didn't you write a book about them, you hating them or something like that?
Yeah. I Hate the Minorities by Aaron Clary. Where the fuck did those minorities come from? By Aaron Clary. Many series of the books. Yes. So, anyway, what's going on over in Norway or Sweden or Finland or wherever
Denmark.
You're at? Denmark? All right.
Yeah,
Denmark.
At least that one has Legoland. I mean, pick the nicest one of them all, okay?
Is Denmark the nicest of the Scandinavian countries?
I don't know, but they have Legoland. So by default, they win.
What have you visited Sweden and Norway and all that, or no?
No, not yet.
Really? It's just right across the Baltic Sea from you.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still pretty decent amount of hours drive.
Wouldn't you take a boat or a plane?
Could happen as well.
Yeah.
There are many different ways to get there. I have to ask my father about that. He has truck drivers all over the place.
Well, out of curiosity, because I do remember reading in The Economist, they were talking about booze taxes. And doesn't the North or not the Baltic, maybe it is the Baltic Sea, but the North Sea freeze over and then people can just drive from the tip of Denmark to, I believe it's Sweden. And they're like running booze because the taxes in Sweden were so much higher than Denmark.
Could very well be. I have no knowledge of that.
This is like me not visiting Wisconsin. This is in your backyard. How have you not been to Sweden?
I don't know. Maybe because it's a 4-hour drive or something like that.
4 hours? That's nothing. What did the flight and the planes? It's right there. What can't you just hop over?
Not maybe. Maybe I can. I'm just not that much of a traveler. May I?
Okay. All right. You've had no desire to check out Stockholm or Helsinki or Oslo.
No.
Okay, so do you stay on mainland Europe? Do you like check out Paris? Do you go to, I don't know, Arnhem?
I have been to France, somewhere up north of France. I've been to Istanbul once, which is debatable.
You made it all the way out to Turkey, but you haven't flown to Oslo?
I don't know why. It's like, it's cold.
Hang on.
North.
Hey, I get it. Hang on. How the hell? How far is Turkey from where are you, Belgium? What fucking Holland? Give me a town in Holland. Arnhem.
Yeah, that one.
All right, I'm gonna look that up because I watched a bridge too far. Arnhem.
I'm just not that much of a traveler. I'll be very honest about that.
Yeah, but then you like my home base, Turkey. How far of a flight is this? Okay. All right. It's only 3.5 hours. So that's like kind of flying to the United States from one coast to the other, I guess. Okay. I'm looking at the map right here. Okay. That is that's a drive. 27 hours. Okay. So it is like flying from Minneapolis to Vegas. So it's like a days and change drive, but a 3.5 hour flight. And you've never what about London? Have you gone to London?
Yes, I have actually. Okay. All right. By myself. I wanted to go for 2 entire weeks, but I got there and there was nothing left of the traditional British culture. It took me 2 hours before I actually ran into an actual British person. My hostel was not as British as I hoped, mostly Polish and Italian and Arabs, which is fine. They were great people to hang out with. By God, man, they drank like hell. Yeah. After a week, I seen what I wanted to see in London, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll just celebrate New Year's at home. Christmas in London it's fun. They've got everything decorated.
I'm afraid because of the I don't know how else to put it, not colonial, but the expansive nature of the United States and Canada and South America and all that. I really witnessed this when I was up in Canada, where a buddy of mine, he's a petroleum engineer, and he thought nothing of driving 600 kilometers in a day because that's how far and expansive it is. And we can even see it within the United States. Like the East Coast people, like, I drove all the way across Rhode Island. I'm like, I could run across Rhode Island. Then you get out to the Western states. It's like, well, you got to drive from Colorado Springs to whatever, Grand Junction. And I would say North Americans, including Mexico, they're probably more accustomed to driving many hours and many miles. Whereas, I'm looking at the map. I'm like, well, that's just a boat ride. Like that would be 2 hours to get to London. I mean, how long does it take to get to London? It's an hour flight.
Yeah, an hour. London is an hour.
Yeah. See, like I'd be going to London all the time. Maybe not London, but I'd be like traveling all over the place. I'm like, well, it's right there.
But you are financially independent and liberated from a job.
Okay, true. But let's say I was your age and not liberated from a job, and I would still be like, hey, what's the weekend? Let's go to London, or I don't know why. What would prevent you? Like, don't you have a slight curiosity of checking out Helsinki? Like, what do the Finlanders got going on?
A little bit. I have a friend of mine who is in Switzerland who I still need to visit. So that's going to happen. But I have been focused on one thing and one thing only for the past plenty of years, and I'm this close to getting there. That I was just like, I'm not going to travel. I'm not going to do weird shit, whatever, until I have it. And then I'll go. Because then I don't have to worry.
Right. And I appreciate that. But you're not against, like, have you been to the Baltics? Estonia, Lithuania?
Not yet. I really want to.
Okay. Well, just if you're that close, man, because here's the same thing. It happened to me when I was 30, where the housing crisis came and I realized that all these boomer pieces of shit cocksuckers were lying to me this entire time. I said, that's it. I'm done doing what they said and what's the right thing. And I put it on a credit card. This is how risque this was back in the time. I took a train out to Glacier National Park and got a car rental. And I think maybe you're at that breaking point where you're about to punch through and make a break for it. And then all of a sudden, once you get your finances squared away, boom, off you go. You could be Tallinn, is that the town in Estonia? There's a major town. Whatever. You'll be traveling around and having a good time is what I'm saying.
I probably will. I did take a train ride to Budapest once, though, for the Sziget Festival. 10 days. That was amazing. Ever been to Budapest?
No, I haven't been to Central Europe. No, I've only been to Italy, France, and Switzerland.
Now, Italy, I'm not that drawn to. Same as France. I met a couple of French people, and I was like, you are assholes. That's the entire country. Never mind. I understand why nobody likes you.
Why the Germans keep invading all the time. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, seriously though, European Union, my ass. We will be at each other's throats very soon.
That's all we'll see, and that's what I'm wondering when those times are going to come again, because it's been 70 years since there's been a European war. But if you look at all European history, holy cow, do you guys hate each other?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, we got to fight these guys and the Spaniards. It's like, were you allies in the war like literally 12 years ago? Now you hate the Russians? What? I mean, I'm kind of shocked a little bit, because I'm like, the United States, and maybe it's because of the geography, but it's kind of like, well, we really just wait until we got a real war going on, and then we go and do it. But man, like, all European history is like, fuck the French, fuck the British, fuck the Spaniards, fuck the Dutch. Let's, and then maybe it gets a little sexy when they like, we've learned to sail. Let's get some colonies. So that changed things up a little bit. But pretty much since the collapse of the Roman Empire to about the 1700s, it's just y'all fighting each other.
And all the monarchies are related. All of them.
True. Yes.
Which gave us some interesting looking princes at a certain point.
Yes, you did have that. So anyway, well, what's going on over in Jack Napier world?
A lot of narration. A lot. Luckily, I work from home, so I can narrate while working. So that's going well. Other than that, making standalone content for the channel, which is going well. Just did a podcast with Mark Zollo. Captain Mark Zollo, by the way. He actually is a captain.
A real captain.
Okay. Yeah, he has his boating license, which is pretty neat. Other than that, just going well. You're
that close to being 100% self-supporting, independent 1099er, huh?
It's close. It really is getting close.
Good.
And I am very, very happy with it. It's kind of because I always knew what I wanted. I just never knew how to get it. And I refuse to give you any sort of credit in this, by the way, just so you know.
I wouldn't take any credit whatsoever. No, let's just be perfectly honest. You probably would have found this path on your own regardless. I mean, maybe a couple months delayed, but yeah, this is because it's human nature to want to be free. But then you also need intelligence to capitalize on that and say, okay, the only way I want to be free from these motherfuckers is doing it myself. And now we're talking, I would say less than 3% of the population that has that level of cojones or balls or gusto to do it.
You were right though when you said high school never ends, because I asked my boss a while back, like, can I work 24 hours instead of 32? Because, well, I've got other things to do and I've got income on the side. Well, we don't know. And we tried that with other people and they just couldn't get along. I'm like, first of all, do not compare me to others. Like,
did you tell him that? Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
And a bit more less forward way, sort of say, because, well, I do like it. He's one of the nice boomers, sort of say.
He sounds like a pretty good boss. You've only said kind things about him ever since I've known you to be.
He really is a very kind guy, but he has to deal with bureaucrats as well. So I'm not going to be in his face. I am not, because he did good things for me as well. So you know what? But he did honestly tell me, like, maybe you really have to make that choice at a certain point where you just take the dive. And I'm like, well, I think I kind of do. But it did remind me of high school, where my teachers always told me, like, well, Jack, it doesn't work like that because the other students. I'm like, fuck the other students. Fuck the collective. Right up the ass.
Amen.
Really. I was so pissed off about that every goddamn time. It's like, oh, this is the yearly curriculum. I did it within a week. So I showed the teacher. He's like, well, I do want you in class every time. I'm like, why? It's like, well, because the other students, fuck the other students. I went to my student counselor teacher, whatever you want to call it, and I showed him what I did. He's like, you did the year's curriculum in a week? I'm like, yeah, because that was the point. But the idiot wants me to come in every class, and he's going to report to you. He's like, I'll take care of it. Good.
Did you get to skip ahead a year or something like that?
I just got to skip all his classes of that year.
God, that's like, so awesome. Boom. Yeah, this it might offend the feelings of the cattle. Pisses me the fuck, because I remember at Wells Fargo, and I will always curse out Wells Fargo because they're criminal and they keep getting in trouble. So go fuck themselves. But I remember, like, I expressly went in. I put in my 2 weeks notice at my old job at Wells Fargo, and then their main guy, I guess, in that division or department called me and said, hey, would you like to have your old job, but it'd be downtown? And I said, I will do it, but I could come in whenever I want. You give me 24-hour access, because I was working security at the time as well. And I don't, no guff. Like, okay. So I go in, I come in, like, I'd go night clubbing at night in Minneapolis. And then at night I'd go, 2, 3 a.m., walk down to the office, sober up before I drive, but I could bang out some work. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, it was Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. I'm like, I'm out of here. Bye. And all these people were complaining because I got to go home and they didn't. And then my new boss come in. He's like, well, we know that we had this agreement. And then I'm like, nope. Okay, bye. And they're shocked that I quit. It's like, you don't get it, do you? And the normie conformity people don't get it either. Let's just be perfectly honest. For all you fucking assholes that worked at Wells Fargo in that department, all right, you all had kids you couldn't afford. You all were the corporation's bitch. You all had to commute, and that you made bad choices. And that's why you were fucked in the ass making you 30 grand a year or whatever the hell it was. Even back then, that was probably a lot of money. I didn't fuck up. I negotiated. I was better than you. I didn't screw it up. And so when I got to leave early because I played my cards right. Now suck my fucking dick. Nope. He's like, well, I don't think we can have you doing that anymore. I'm like, okay. And then when I gave I gave the 2 weeks resume. What do you mean? It's like, what the fuck are you like? And I'm like, oh, you're cattle. Maybe gray hair, but you're cattle. And so, yeah, no, the other people are offended you did better in life, and therefore we can't have you have special privileges. Fuck you people.
I worked for my privileges. I had so many classmates up in my shit, especially girls, by the way, up in my shit. Like, why do you never show up for morning class? Why do you always leave early? Why do you always play hooky? Like, listen, bitch, because I was smart and did not waste my time on useless Netflix crap. I put in the work, and within a week, I did what takes you a year. Now shut the hell up.
Yeah, that didn't probably go over well.
Perfect for me. They left me alone.
Yeah, no, that's
You'll be surprised how fast a woman shuts the hell up when you tell her to.
I've had very mixed results. It's one of two things. They're either going to be like shocked and they'll actually comply, or maybe not even comply, but they'll feel bad, sometimes even cry. Then there's gals that just turn it up to 15 and get in your face because they had the feminist indoctrination. And it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, you're taller too, right? But it doesn't. If they got that psychology, no amount of like, listen, shut the F up and stop mouthing off. What you talking about? And then it's just like, now you don't argue with feminists to begin with.
No.
Two, you don't want to argue with an angry feminist because it's just going to be yelling and screaming and there's no reasoning or rationaling. So the girl has to have like a core of femininity to her so that when a guy says, will you shut up? And they're like shocked that they actually like, what?
Yeah, because it can be a shit test. Like they're pushing you to see how far your boundaries can go.
Yeah, but this gets into the issue. Like, do you think I'm going to tolerate shit tests?
No, not anymore.
You think I'm going to try to pass them?
No.
I mean, I have been on record multiple times that I am more than happy to pay for a pro because my peace and serenity is not worth the games or standing up or anything. And it's like, no, I don't know. Not even dealing with you. Just not at all.
Funnily enough, is actually the way to pass them.
We just pay them.
It's so paradoxically. Like most shit tests you can pass by just telling her to fuck off.
Right.
It's like, no, we're not doing that. Oh, he's so great. It's like,
yeah, well, yeah, okay, you can do that, but where I run into the issue of course, maybe that was too specific a scenario, where it's like you tell the feminist to fuck off, then it's I don't want that. And it's not that I'm afraid or that I'm wrong or somehow I'd lose the debate. It's like I don't want a screaming harpy feminist cursing and spitting in my face. It's just like, no, I don't even argue anymore.
At those points, it's best to just surrender. Where it's like, you know what? You're right.
You're right.
You're right. The same with that whole beef that's going on with content creators. You're right. I am an asshole. I am scum of the earth. You're right.
I have avoided tons of pain, not dying on different hills. Because it's not worth it to me. I'm like, well, I know maybe you upset that person upset you, but I'm just like, I'm done with it. And it's not out of cowardice. I think that's another thing is it's not like this was like I was in middle school and trying to avoid fights because I was a smaller guy. This is just, it is not worth my time and it's not worth the headache and pain dealing with any kind of drama, whether it's sexually based or professionally based or anything like that. And when it's, and I don't know about you, Jack, but I chased girls when I was younger and I've been there, done that, not doing it again. Don't need to. And I'm not going to get down and lie with pigs in mud or get lice with fleas or dog with fleas or so, however the saying goes. It's just like, nope, you're right. Go power, strong, independent, whatever. Just get out of here. And yep, you
bicycle
go ride.
Trademark.
Yeah, because you know what? The real world's going to beat the ever living shit out of you, and I'm not going to have to lift a damn finger. I'll just let you go.
And that is the most beautiful thing about that strategy. The whole let them have it.
Right.
I stopped arguing with leftists a couple of weeks ago. I have never been more serene and peaceful. Mm-hmm. Every now and then I get a bit pissed off because you're human. You know
right.
what? But then you just stop yourself and think, why are these people doing this? Because they're miserable. You've already won. You know what? Let me guess. Other people's money?
Other people's money.
I get you. Yeah, you're right.
You know what is philosophically sad about that? Other people's money is
that it's not yours.
Well, aside from the parasitism, but what I have realized, and we could talk about, for example, using the black community, but it's not just to focus on the black community. We're just using it because there's other people equally guilty of all this. But if you are a young black man in America, you get to face a choice. It's, am I going to get myself out of this? Or I'm going to rely on other people to get me out of this. And the indoctrination or the current zeitgeist or official stance or whatever from the Democrat Party is, we will get you out of this. Just vote for us and give us money and we'll go take care of this for you. And what is horrific about that, not just as it pertains to the Black community, but any group of person or any person out there, period, is you have now forfeited your own self-control. You have given up and said, all right, I'm no longer responsible for this. It's other people that are going to save me. And now you sit and wait. And there's nothing you can actually do because you've given that up. It's not like you go out and do something. I'm going to take these. And it's giving up that power and control to improve one's lot in life that I think is so horrifically depressing and sad. Where it's like, no, other people owe me and that. It's like, okay, let's say other people do owe you. But from a practical, functional point of view, like, shouldn't you go major in engineering? Or shouldn't you get off your ass? Or maybe you should hit the gym, ladies. Like, you want to have a hot guy. Well, shouldn't you get a nice set of tits or something like that? And that is what, not to simplify it politically, but that's what this leftism ideology has done, is it's taken away the individual control, the individual, and now made them completely dependent upon the system, not just financially or economically, but I mean, psychologically, morally, agency wise.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so when these gals are all like, government's got to do this and I don't need you and the government check and don't need no man. It's like, because you are miserable. You cannot be anything but miserable when your entire life strategy is, I hope other people do shit for me. And that's where it's really, really sad.
And this will sound shallow. I know that the argument is very shallow, but look at most people saying that stuff. They look miserable. They're overweight, ugly hairdos. Okay, my hairdo isn't the greatest either, but still.
It's not purple.
No, at least it's not purple, halfly shaven with tattoos over my face and whatever. They reflect what they think. And I have this argument with people all the time, and they bring up Vaush, and I'm like, you already lost me. And it's like, why? Because when I look at Vaush, I wouldn't trade with him for the world.
Right.
I just wouldn't. I don't, because his appearance is a reflection of his beliefs. And if his beliefs led him to that, then no thank you. I pass. I might be wrong. You might be wrong. You and I might very well be wrong in everything.
We could be wrong. I doubt it, but we could be wrong.
The results my belief system thus far has given me is in line with what I want. Therefore, I am convinced to this point I have it at the right end.
Do you ever remember The Amazing Atheist?
TJ. Yeah. What was his name? TJ?
Whatever it was. It didn't matter. But and Vaush, actually, I've had some email correspondence with him. So he's been intellectually honest so far. And one of these days, I want to have him on the show. Like, okay, explain modern day communism. And it would not be an agitated thing or anything like that. But I would just ask him questions. The question would be whether he would be behaving or, like, you know, trying to get in a fight. Whereas I just would want to hear him like, okay, tell us what communism is now, you know, modern day Gen Z or whatever generation he is. But no disrespect for him, but you look at him and The Amazing Atheist, and it's like, being obese, like, don't tell me. All right. First, like, you better be in physical shape. I'm not expecting everyone to be able to bench press their weight 10 times, but you better be in physical shape.
The halo effect is real.
Right. When I see overweight people, I immediately go to the 7 deadly sins, one of which is sloth. And I'm like, I have no respect for you. I just can't really take you seriously. And so The Amazing Atheist, or there's limitless number of overweight leftist type of YouTube type of people. But even Vaush is like, okay, maybe the foremost speaker on socialism and communism and all that. But it's like, you're a fat fuck. Like, and I'm sorry, like, and I don't know how important sex is to you, Jack. It's pretty important to me. I like having good sex. Yeah. It's kind of up there with eating and breathing for me. And I do not want to have some overweight broad, and I don't want to be overweight myself. I want to have good sex. Exactly. But when you look at that, that's empirical evidence. Like, now, are they miserable? I know Amazing Atheist probably is. I don't know whatever happened to him. He hated my guts. And
Did he
maybe
quit?
Vaush. I think he did. I think he went away. I think Vaush is just happy because he's making money, even though he's a communist and should give it all away. But I just kind of look at like, yeah, I would not be happy being you. I just, and you can act, and I don't think for a second any of these people actually believe their own bullshit. I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think they're all miserable. They know that it's a lie and they just want free people's shit. That's all it is. But the fear of having to work and support oneself and actually becoming a truly independent economic unit within society is such an intimidating fear to them. It scares them into inaction and basically parasitism. And so I don't want to live in that level of fear. Like I've never worried about working. I've never had to worry about, like if I had to, I could go work security or drive truck or whatever it is. I've never really worried about that. But man, some of these people, it's like, could you imagine what they would do without the internet? Like, what would they do?
Welfare. Because I know one of those guys. Like I had in the circle of people I hung around with, there was this one guy, immensely obese, whatever, spent the entire day on Facebook arguing with people. Guess what? He was a filthy lefty. Absolutely was. Completely miserable. Completely was. And I know how shallow this sounds, Cappy. I really do. That we're
talking about shallow people, so you're not going to offend me or anyone.
That you're what's the word I'm looking for? Your on appearance.
My Dutch advisor? What?
Ah, God damn it.
My appearance.
Okay. That you're I really can't find the word. God damn it.
My presence.
That you're judging someone on their appearance and their ideas with it. But I just can't help but notice that many of the socialist communist advocates just have the appearance of someone who is in misery. Absolute physical misery. Do you think it's nice being fat? The breath problem you have, the knee problem, the ankle problem? Horrible.
Well, and I've written about this before because I noticed there was a correlation between leftist politics and overweight people. And it just basically boils down to laziness because you lack the discipline to like diet right, and you lack the discipline to go and work out and get exercise. And now, of course, other fat conservative libertarian types, right? Now they're hot leftist types, of course there is. But generally speaking, and you can see this very pronounced with women, obesity positively correlates and strongly correlates with leftist politics. And the uglier a person you are, very generally speaking, but it's not a stretch, the more left you are, the more ugly you are.
There's been research on that.
And yeah, and they saw like what more masculine men, higher testosterone tend to be more conservative or libertarian or whatever else it was. But the getting back to this, where everybody hates a parasite. Everybody. Yeah. I don't like parasites. I don't like the fact that I'm partially enslaved. Basically, one of every $4 of my dollars goes to pay for somebody's fuck up. I don't like that, and I have every right not to like that. But then when I look at these people that get my money, holy shit. I mean, I do the dance of joy. I mean, like that makes me happy. I'm not then, because we're looking at a bunch of criminal, loser, in debt, forever mistake, blah, blah, blah. And worse, probably the worst thing for them is their psychology. They actually think that they're oppressed or there's something wrong with society. And there's like no way to why? Because they abdicated their own self-control to get out of their own situation. And so I love watching these people suffer. A liberal arts major who has their master's degree and voted to enslave me even more, be totally fucked and dependent. Like, God, I hope Biden bails me on my $150,000 in student loan debt. And that's where there's a lot of joy and schadenfreude that comes in.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is, they keep thinking that they're poor because of somebody else, not because they never put 10% away every time a paycheck comes in.
Right.
No, it is because of somebody else. Well, not everybody can miss 10% of their paycheck, Jack. Like, then do 5. Start somewhere.
Let me pause this. Let me go grab a water and I'll come back because I have a very interesting
after
question.
That I have to go.
Oh, you gotta go. All right.
Young and tan and young and lovely. Let's look at the comments real quick. I can't select the super chats from here, so I can't do that. Jesus Christ. This man already has plenty of super chats. How does he do it? Seriously, guys, do I need to yell more at my podcasts? Something like that to get this amount of money? Maybe I should buy blue headphones. Who knows? There he is, getting all ready.
Forgot the question I was going to ask you.
Oh, wow.
What were we talking about? We're talking about watching other people suffer in misery. And that's what I was going to ask you. Do they have something in Dutch where it's like you always fall on your feet, or we can't all be you? Have you ever gotten that excuse?
I have a bit, like, where you mean the situation, well, people can't help it, they're in that situation.
Well, it's even more personally insulting because I won't lie, I sacrificed an incredible amount, and I scrimped my pennies and dollars and put a down payment on my house. And at the age of 24, I had my first rental property, and I have worked harder than the average person. I've sacrificed more. Then when I'm about 30, people are like, well, we can't all be like you, Clary. And it pisses me off because it's like, no, you chose not to be. And the reason you can't is because you're a lazy, no good fuck. That's why. You didn't work as hard as me. And make it sound like it's like this, like God just gave you a gift and you're the miracle child and everything went your way. It's like, no, I worked harder, assholes.
You know when I got that?
When?
When I posted my first shirtless picture on Instagram after training.
Really?
Seriously, that's when I got that remark. Like, we can't all be you, Jack. It's like, what do you mean you can't be me? I worked for this. You can work for this. It is humanly possible. I did it. It's like, well, we can't all be you. I just don't have the time. Fuck off.
Right.
Get off that couch and bench press, God damn it.
There you go.
Well, if I had the time, I would be able to look like that. No, you didn't. You know why? Because you're a lazy piece of shit. And if you actually were like that, you weren't lazy. Therefore, you wouldn't.
Right. And okay, let me tell you what I've never seen. I've never seen somebody failing in life where I could look at them and say, nope, you're busting your ass off as much as possible, not wasting any time. Every time I've seen a loser, I'm like, you're fucking up there. You're wasting time there. You're pissing away your time watching TV. You're whatever, watching the porn. You're doing this. You're like, here's the reason. Like, you literally piss away most of your day on horrifically bad, television, social media. I mean, all this other stuff. And you can obviously see why they're failing. And this is why I say everybody knows what they all know. That guy who is jealous of you with your six pack, he knows exactly why he's a fat fuck. He knows exactly why he doesn't have a six pack. And it's just what they tell themselves to make themselves feel better. We're like, oh, you can't all be like you.
And sleep at night.
Yep. You want to go through some super chats real quick here?
Yeah, let's go through
All right, then you get it on your way. All right, read this one here, Mr.
Okay, Cappy, did you get the photos? If not, where is a better place to send them your way? Targeting Del Rio, Texas today, where it could be big later today.
He is a tornado chaser. And yes, Chris, I did get the emails, and they are on my Cappy Cap email account, which I have up here, and I will get those. Yes, so thank you very much. I will get those. But he saw 6 a day or 2 ago.
Nice.
Yeah. You don't have tornadoes that much in Europe, right? The climate isn't that common.
I saw one last year when I drove home. It was during the summer season. Very small one. Just a small, like maybe 7 foot high, something like that.
That's not a tornado. That's probably a whirlwind or
something like that. It looked cute.
A tornado. Yeah, they're not cute.
Okay.
They're pretty destructive. Yeah, it was probably a dust devil. That was it. All right.
Okay. I liked it. James D for $5. What will it take for you to renounce your citizenship, Jack and Cappy? What will happen with a global wealth tax implemented in some countries? People will be drawn more to Bitcoin.
Yes. And I would be working less. Like, I would move. Like, you're not taking my money that I earned after I paid fucking 30%, 40% tax on that. Yeah, I probably would leave.
Atham, who's this guy? Dirty Mexican.
Just some schmo. So nobody likes him.
He came crawling over the border, something like that. For two of Cappy's tax dollars, a quickie with Jack. Okay, cowboys. That was a good one, though. It's like,
dude, fucking called him up. I'm like, Atham, that was fucking high. It's talent. Talent. I knew it. Yep. I think it's Estonia's capital. God darn it. Look at all this. Jack, all this damn money coming at me.
I know.
It's horrible, Jack. It's just horrible.
Thomas Landrum for $5. I have mixed results as well. Reference to telling a girl to be quiet. Shit tests are now getting exhausted.
Yes. Yeah. No, I even did a video a little bit ago where, like, once you get to be an old man, like, you're just like, nope, no women, not dealing with it. And because, I remember the young guy, he's got one-itis and his life doesn't exist unless he's got a girl. And I'm like, I wish you boys could get to 45-year-old man stage where you're like, bitches ain't shit. Where you're just like, nope, nope. Even Myron Gaines, me and Terrence Pop were hanging out with him. And he's like, we're all the hot chicks. And me and Pop are like, can we just go get a drink? Can we just relax and enjoy? Like, we don't have to go find girls, okay? Just chill out.
I hear you.
Go, Harry.
Yeah.
Come on, Harry.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. I was fucking with the sound. Competent man for $5. Problem, fighting on those hills is even when win does not help one. Indeed. They will keep doing the stupid anyways. I expect hyperinflation will get them. Probably.
That could be, yeah, that might be it. I mean, it'll get us all. Oh, that's going to be real interesting. Yeah. How inflation would affect the sexes. Because men are naturally more diversified into precious metals, guns, and crypto.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they've already started that because 95% of all users are male and only 5% female. So crypto is because of misogyny and excluding women.
You know what? Here. I want all women. I'm going to do ASMR. How about you stop sucking so much? How about that? How about you just buy some crypto? Huh? How about you actually be fucking equal, major in engineering, and make your 6 figs? And there are some gals that do. It just pisses me off that. Never mind. It's not worth getting over.
No, Cappy, they can't help it because other people's money.
Right. And we can't all be like you, Jack. We can't all be like you.
We can't all be like you, Cappy. Noah Correa for $5. What is worse in your opinion, a banker or a car salesman? I've had terrible experience with the latter.
Banker.
Yeah, I think too. I don't have any experience with car salesmen, but they just want to try and sell you. A banker should store your money and nothing else.
Well, and I'll tell you this, bankers may be getting better because the government cracked down after the financial crisis. And so there's not as much room to be as skeezy or slimy. So maybe bankers as quality, but they're basically government bureaucrats now. That's all bankers are, is the government's so far up their ass they can't do anything without government approval. But car salesmen, at least, well, there's the car, I can see it. But bankers are pretty much scum.
Okay.
Pretty much scum.
2 more super chats, then I have to go.
You do? All right. Here.
Thomas Landrum for $5. Thank you very much. I hate those subliminal message. We can all be you. No, motherfucker. I work those 80-hour work weeks constantly. I hit the gym. I choose not to have kids.
There you go. There's Tom hitting out of the park.
Exactly. I mean, by God, man. Oh, but almost. All
right, then Scott. He doesn't have anything to say. I like Scott.
Yeah.
Just gives me money.
What more do you want?
Yeah, no, I know what it's like to be Chad Elkins when people just give me money and donations. That's cool. Well, how about this? I know you got to go. Why don't you tell everybody where you can find your stuff and things you do and all that other good jazz?
My channel is already in the chat. You going to stay on?
I thought you had to go.
Yeah, I had to go, but you going to stay on? Or
no, I got Tom send another $5, but then I got to get back to Asshole Consulting. This really was just a quick little howdy do.
Yeah. Okay, so link to my channel is in the chat. Cappy, thanks for having me. See you soon, okay?
All right, see you guys. Do you want to take us out appropriately? Oh, he left. All right, never mind. Tom Landrum for $5. I hate those. Oh, we already got that one from Tom. Boom, we're done. All right, see you guys later.